Greetings, I hope you're all having an amazing day. We have a very special guest today here on WIMPLO News. I would like to introduce you all to Xiaochen Zhang, the president of Fintech for Good, a company that's helping the blockchain world develop and transition to the next phase. So we're really excited to have him here. So without any further ado, let's get on board with the meeting. So Mr. Xiaochen Zhang, would you please introduce yourself and tell us how you got involved with blockchain and the fintech domain?
Sure, and so thank you for the invitation. And my name is Xiaochen, and I'm president of Fintech for Good, and we are a blockchain and a fintech incubator, accelerator, and the investor. And we also have a media platform. We produce the blockchain TV shows, and also we organize the World Blockchain Championship. So it's mainly that our mission is really identifying the blockchain and fintech startup and help them grow into new market. And before Fintech for Good, I worked for World Bank, United Nations, and in the area that we identifying the innovative financial instruments, and then using World Bank's instrument to just help to disseminate those innovative financial instruments to incentivize and leverage private capital for green growth in different countries. Yeah.
Ah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for the brief introduction. So what I would like to know is, and what our viewers would be really curious to know, is about RBWC. So how exactly has it impacted the blockchain ecosystem so far?
Our championship is one of our initiatives started from 2018. And the idea was that we bring 10 countries together, and in each country that we identifying the country top blockchain leaders who win the championship, then bring each country's winner together to compete for the world championship. And last year we organized the China RBWC in Shenzhen together with NOS and a few other partners, and we engaged the most influential blockchain investors, and invite them to recommend blockchain startups to enter into the competition. Altogether, that we received more than 100 submission, and from them we selected the top 23, I believe. And so then we invite all the 23 companies who are shortlisted to just pitch in front of all the investors. And the event was highly participated, and we got the top 5 selected by the investors. And among the top 5 we have the public ledger company, we have the blockchain for game, blockchain for energy, and also blockchain combined VR AR. So it's kind of a mix of a very exciting blockchain public ledger and public distributed applications. And through that, we engaged with the government agencies, with the large corporations, and with the investment community, and also with the startups. And the RBWC were able to bring everyone together in one place and sharing the most innovative solution. And some of the solutions are going to be scaled up by many of the agencies who participated in this. And we think that RBWC is one of the initiative which helps to just mobilize the support for the technology adoption in China, and we are now taking RBWC China winners to compete in other countries.
Oh, excellent. I think the news about RBWC is really exciting, and I'm very sure that a lot of startups and companies would be really excited to participate and enter this event. So, ideally, regarding the competition so far, who exactly would you consider your ideal targets for the Blockchain Accelerator program? And why would you particularly target these kind of startups or participants?
And from our acceleration program, we have developed our responsible blockchain innovation framework, and within the framework, we use the three main main targets. One is green, the other is innovative, the third is inclusive. So from the inclusive side, the blockchain technology has to just help those marginalized group to be included in the economic development opportunity, minority group to just participate in the whole innovation process. And number two, there are many examples, blockchain for gender issue, blockchain for refugee, blockchain for blockchain-based digital identity for the poor, and those kind of solutions which really help to address the inclusive challenge we are facing. The number two is the green that we also have two indicators, and either it helps to mitigate the risk, or it helps to just increase the adaptive capacity. And examples are, blockchain for renewable energy and blockchain for disaster relief. And these are the two very good, typical example. From the blockchain for renewable energy, it's very clear through, blockchain technology to reduce the cost in renewable energy production, and also to just using peer-to-peer trading platform can just connect the producer and the consumer together, and which can avoid the middleman or even the grade. So that can just improve the efficiency. And when we produce and consume more renewable energy, we can definitely help to just mitigate the climate risk or mitigate the climate emission, greenhouse emission. And from the disaster relief side, that is very clear that through blockchain-based solution, and if we can just help those who suffer from disaster to receive relief, no matter financial relief or from the other capacity input, in a more effective way, and that can just help the city or even the country to improve their adaptive capacity. Number three is innovative. No matter the technology is the adaptive innovation or it's a frontier innovation, no matter what, it has to be just a technology which help us to just move the curve to the next level. In this, that if you are using blockchain as a name to just advance business model which is nothing new, nothing innovative, then we are also not going to look at it. Good example is that Bitcoin ATM machine, for example, and it is very clear it's useful, and many investors also invest in Bitcoin ATM machine, but we don't, because we don't think it's anything innovative, and so it has to either to follow the track of frontier innovation or adaptive innovation. So with green, innovative and also inclusive. These are the main framework that we use to choose the blockchain startup in our acceleration program.
Thus, I'm sure a lot of viewers would be excited to know about this and towards what you're aiming at and where you're trying to vision the goals of the company. So I have a question for the future participants in the RBWC competition. So what do you think it takes for a participant startup to win the RBWC championship? In other words, what would be the focus areas for preparation before the participation?
Yeah, I think number one is that the startup itself has to be a strong one, and meaning that you are fully prepared. In many, if you are at a too early stage and you don't have a MVP or minimum viable products, or you are really just at the ideation stage, it might be difficult for you to win the whole thing because others cannot evaluate how good you are. And so the MVP is probably a number one barrier for those who may not be qualified or eligible. And after you just have an MVP, that you can be eligible for the competition. And number two is that you have built a strong community, because we combine the face-to-face investor or experts valuation together, or assessment together with the community voting. So if you have a strong community and which support you, and we believe that when you can already convinced a large community who have the crowd wisdom, then we also think that you might have something valuable out there to offer. Otherwise, the community will not support you. So the number two, if you want to win the game, that you should have a strong community who is supporting you. And number three is that you need to really have this startup characteristic, meaning that you have to be aggressive enough trying to win the thing, and also you have to have the skill set, because many coming from the large company as the new CEO or founder of startup, and think that the resources will come to them and have this big company mindset, which just doesn't help them to just compete with other startups. Or if you are a startup who don't have any experience to just help a company to just grow to the next level, and you don't know what message you need to communicate to the investors, to the community, and you think that you have something really cool, but it doesn't sell properly to the investor, to the community, and then you will also lose the opportunity to just be the winner of the competition. And lastly, and also very importantly, is you have to just think of whether you are all the competition is right for you, because many startups have a very has a very constrained budget with very clear time plan, with the milestones, and to just sometimes to join a participation is also just bring you some more distraction, and it may just bring you or take you away from the past, that's or even from your milestones. And so you have to just calculate the resources available for you and the milestones that you want to achieve with the the whole, your mission, and then to see that whether the competition is right for you. So if your assessment is, yeah, we have the resources, and we are in this category, and I think this competition can definitely help you to build in the brand, and help you to enter into different market, and expose you to many investors that you had never exposed to.
Awesome. That's very wonderful to hear. I think it's more than anything, it's really valuable advice to a lot of growing startups in the field of blockchain to actually know this and consider these things in order to take their company to the next level. And thank you for sharing this with us. So the next question I have is regarding security token offering, or STO. So what is your opinion about STO? Do you think STO can completely replace ICOs? What would you consider as the pros and cons of this change if it does happen?
Yeah, personally, I don't want ICO be fully replaced, and I really like the innovation which is associated with ICO. So that is in this, that's ICO really just open door to many early stage startup which as the ideation stage, and some of them are truly innovative and 100% that they are not able to just be funded properly, and many of them will not just even have an opportunity to show the potential. Good example is that without ICO will not have Ethereum, and so without Ethereum, that's probably 70% of the dApps what we are seeing now will not happen. So yeah, ICO definitely just brought a lot of innovation and also inclusive opportunities for many investors, non-traditional or non-conventional investors. So I do think that as a innovative financing or fundraising model, it shouldn't just be thrown away. But as of the potential risks, and there's the trend, many started to have the self-regulation framework that the industries come up with this self-regulatory framework which helped the investors and the government and also the ICO campaigners to work in a way that to minimize the risk of fraud. And there is also the innovative framework which use release fund based on milestones. In this, that's not like a startup at the ideation stage, you will just get your round D type of investment. And based on the milestone you achieved, you get the amount of investment you need to complete your task. In this, that startup will not just get money run away, because you only get very minimal money to just complete your next milestone. So, and also from the investor education side, if the ICO community working with the government to provide the right type of investor training, and then the investors are fully aware of the risks associated with it, and also have the capacity to do proper due diligence, and I think that can again minimize the risk and help them to differentiate the true innovation from fraud. But lastly, that ICO is really although we see it's a democratization of investment, but it also is investment, meaning that any investment it is risky, and investors have to be fully aware of the risk. And only when the investors are fully aware of the risk, they are responsible of their own investment, then we can just address the fraud issues from really the core. And now that we move to the STO, and I welcome the opportunity that finally that we have token-based fundraising model, which are being approved by many governments as the legitimate way to do fundraising for the blockchain project. And of course, it has both pros and cons. And it is very clear that when compare ICO with STO, that STO has definitely reduced dramatically of the risk for the investors, but it also just increased the barriers for the investor, what type of investor can just invest in the good or exciting opportunities. And also it limited the issuers or campaigners for fundraising. And for ICO campaigns of it's like a crowdfunding, and so you can really minimize your legal fee and intermediary fee, which are really the fundamental innovation for fundraising, due to the emergence of blockchain technology. But now introducing STO, security token offering, that all the traditional broker-dealer license and how to marketing, who can issue securities, who can sell, who can promote securities, and the whole process just bring back to the traditional investment life cycle, and which add the cost, add the time consumed, add the intermediaries back to the fundraising, and it definitely just make it more heavy for the startups to use this instrument to do fundraising. So that's why in the STO market, we are seeing that many large asset owners are using STO, but the true early stage startups which are not using STO because they don't have the capital, they don't have the experience to go through all the security fundraising. So then by the end of the day, people have to ask, STO is really innovative, and but innovate, who are they innovating for, and all who are benefiting from this innovation? And it might not be the blockchain startups and who are in the ICO space. So we are really looking at very different campaigners who are using this fundraising method to just do this. And lastly, I want to mention about the regulators' point of view. And it's very clear that STO provide a legal process where that regulators can really just see clearly that whether you comply or you don't comply, and if you don't comply, and we can just install punishment A or B or C. Everything has been there. We know how to do it, and it makes it as black and white as before, and really clear the space. There's no gray area, and it's for regulators it's something good, but it definitely also create a new challenge to make the regulators to be more technology savvy. And you have to just also regulate what type of platform have the security feature which can protect the investors, and if there's hacking happen, and who should be responsible for the token lost, and if it's the insurance company, or is the platform, or is there's a lot of gray areas which associated with the tokenization process. And I think a lot of regulators who don't have this kind of knowledge, they still face the challenge to embrace security token offering.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That was really insightful, and I believe our audience will be very happy to know about this and your opinions about ICO and STO. Thank you for sharing that with us. So now coming down to the Blockchain Accelerator Program itself. How exactly is the fundraising support provided with the Accelerator Program? Is it through ICO or is it STO or is it something else?
So yeah, we last year that's through the WeMerge Fund that we invested 6 company, and all of the 6 company are token companies, and one of the very prominent one is the Newton project, and which is a public ledger for e-commerce, and all of them are the token projects we use. It's all token-based investments, and for our next acceleration program, and it will be combined token investment and also equity investment, because this year that's we are launching a new program called the Smart City Accelerator Network, and where that we work with other 10 blockchain, smart city, fintech incubator and accelerator from different countries, and each of the incubator accelerator will accept at least 5 company from this program, and after 2 months, if they successfully graduated from the program, each accelerator or incubator will commit a number of capital to just invest in those startups, and it can be token investment, it can be equity investment, and by the end of the 2 months, and we'll have more than 50 startups who go through the acceleration program and receive funding from us and our partners. And in this, that we will bring these solutions to different cities as their smart city solution providers in the future. We have already signed some MOU with cities, and after the Smart City Accelerator Network program finish, and we'll be able to bring this 50 plus blockchain startups to different cities for them to or their solution will be considered as smart city solutions.
Wonderful. This is exciting news. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of startups out there taking full advantage of the facilities that you provide, and fortunately we would be seeing a tremendous growth in blockchain technology very soon.
Definitely hope so. And in addition to that, we also just completed our China Top 10 Innovation Selection in 2018. And we got around 1.4 million people participating in the voting, and it was very exciting. And definitely, from this selection, we already have some very good, solid blockchain startups who will be qualified for our acceleration program.
Wow, that is really incredible. So regarding the Blockchain World Championships, in line to what you were saying earlier, so in the Blockchain World Championship that was held on October 15, 2018, which innovative ideas actually gained your attention? Which was the one that you had voted for personally, and why?
So, they are like from the top winners. They are like we are the organizer. We selected them, and I was very excited for all the winners. And a few examples. From the top 10 blockchain innovation, that we have 3 public ledger, and each one of them have some very unique technology advancements compared with other public ledgers. Some are in the speed side, some like some provide the privacy for the public ledger, or some just have like a better security, and or some have this cross-chain components which are strengthened. So those are the next generation public ledger company, which definitely are very instrumental for the future of the blockchain development. And also we have some blockchain for gaming company, and one of them is creating this new social gaming infrastructure, and using the blockchain based token mechanism to incentivize the online activity together with the offline activity, so to bring the gamers away from computer and to participate in the community work or community activity. I think that's kind of new type of solution is very exciting. We all know that games just make a lot of people isolate themselves or even alienating themselves from the true offline activities. So with the blockchain based gaming companies new solution, that we can just make the gamers to just be more active. And there's also the blockchain based micro tasking platform, and for those marginalized group that who cannot really participate or have equal opportunity, and then through this platform that you can just watch some advertisement or just listen to music or watch a TV, watch a movie, and then that you will just get your digital tokens. And with that, for some of the marginalized group that who don't have opportunity or economic opportunity, then they can get a few dollars a day as income. And I think those can also bring a lot of individuals out of poverty. If we see the least developed or the poverty line change from $1 to $2 a day, and to just watch a few movies a day can just make you earn more than $7, and you can really using this to help a lot of really extremely poor to move out of poverty. And there are a lot of such kind of solutions which are extremely exciting. And another example I want to share with you is a platform called Twiba. And from this platform, that for any individual, if you don't have any product, if you don't have any even economic resources, and then you register in the platform on the platform, then you can just choose the product from the product database, and you just do your own like a social networking, twist a few things or post a few posts, and then that's when others just do any purchase through those kind of tweet or post that you have done, and then you will benefit from any of the future purchase. And then in this, that any individual now have a tool to just make themselves as a shop, as a factory, and even as a department store.
I think the future looks really bright. From where I'm sitting, I believe that the world requires these kind of solutions to progress to the next stage of development. And it's pretty exciting what you've shared with us so far. And thank you for answering that. So regarding the development again, so we see that China is emerging as one of the top blockchain hubs in the world. And our question is, how is the industry thriving despite severe government restrictions and complications?
Actually, Chinese government is very supportive to the blockchain technology development. It is in China's 5-year economic development plan. Is also in the government reports, and the Ministry of Information Technology and the Industry is mandated to just develop the blockchain-based standards. And then there's also government-led blockchain association, and from the government issued white paper, blue paper, and also government-led investment fund. Actually, blockchain is really being fully supported by the Chinese government from both the central and the local level. But when you talk about the blockchain-based fundraising, and then that is very different. If you're talking about ICO as a fundraising, or even STO as a fundraising, and it's definitely, it's not the rule was there not to govern the blockchain technology, is to just govern how you raise funds from Chinese investors. And most of those rules, from investor protection perspective, and when there are fraud, or when the investors just lost their money from nothing, and then government definitely have to intervene. So in this regard, that's from 2017 on September 4th, and that was the first time that government central bank in together with other ministries to issue the ban of ICO, which sent a strong signal for the market that the government DAO the fraud type of ICO to just in order to protect Chinese investors. And when STO was introduced into the market, and the Chinese government also made it clear that STO as a fundraising in China is also not regarded as legal. And in this, that we, from blockchain-based fundraising innovation, it still takes time to see that how the fraud can be dealt with, and how the innovative regulatory framework can be introduced. Then this can just be taking on so that more blockchain investors from China can participate in the blockchain investment opportunities properly, and without just suffer from the fraud type of risks.
Thank you for clearing that for us. I'm sure a lot of our audience would be glad to know this in terms of the security and the decisions taken by the government to prevent fraud and to ensure a steady growth of blockchain itself. Thank you for that. So my next question is, we've seen that you've been organizing and speaking at a large number of blockchain summits and events. So what's ahead in 2019? What's your plan and what's your vision? From 2019, that we'll continue to just build the blockchain ecosystem, or supporting the emergence of a healthy blockchain ecosystem globally. And from our side, that we also think that blockchain is really one of the emerging technology, and it should not be just becoming the only hype. And so we also believe that blockchain technology has to be combined with other emerging technology, so that the potential solution will be stronger in solving the existing challenges. So that's why in 2019 that we'll organize a few World Responsible Technology Forum, and on May the 16th to 17th, following consensus, we'll organize the first
World Responsible Technology Forum in New York, and where that will just bring the blockchain together with IoT, machine learning, and 5G all together, and fintech all together, to see that how we can combine all the new technologies in a responsible way to just bring the type of solution that solve the right challenges that we are facing. And we have already the leading speakers who are lined up. And after New York, that will organize similar events in multiple countries, in China and Europe, and hopefully that we can also organize one in India. And because we truly believe that India is such an amazing technology savvy country, and with a lot of talent, and whoever ignore that market and will just suffer from the the severe consequence in the future if they want to be competitive globally. And other than the forum, that's we also supporting quite a number of other organizations in their connection and community building efforts. So that's why you will see me and other Fintech for Good leadership to just fly all over the world in supporting events and the government policy and industries pilots. And just last month that I was back from Kazakhstan and helping the Kazakhstan government to define their new fintech and blockchain related regulatory framework. And we'll just continue to just supporting other governments to just look at this technology and understand the benefit and the risks associated with this technology. And we will also work with the central banks closely to just look at central bank digital currency, and also how central banks should just look at other digital currencies as well. We published the central bank digital currency paper, and we'll just do the global dissemination. Hopefully that many more central banks will be technology savvy to just be able to just take advantage of this new technology and then transform the financial system in their own countries. So all in all, that's we are going to just continue our efforts in the acceleration side, in the research and the policy innovation side, and also in the investment side. And lastly, that's from the event, we'll also launch our blockchain economist show, where that will invite the world leaders to share their blockchain stories and bring those stories to just educate more people, so that people will not all the technology will not be mysterious for others, and we can help to mainstream the technology and get more to benefit from the technology innovation.
I think that's a very important point. I believe a lot of people are unaware of the technological advantages that blockchain has and the solutions that it can offer, and I think making it more mainstream would help a lot of people accept it as a viable form of technology for the future. And it's very good to hear what fintech has been doing in helping countries join hands together to solve the world challenges. And from all of this, it has also been very clear that China has positioned itself as one of the leaders in the fintech market. So how has Chinese fintech enterprises gained global acceptance in terms of collaboration?
In 2016, that we launched a show called the Fintech in China show. The background of that show is that me and my co-host Luke Deer, that's who is from Australia. We thought that fintech company in China are not properly understood by the English-speaking world, and many have the stereotype that Chinese company are not innovative, and they becoming big only because that they have a big market. And the truth is that Chinese fintech companies are truly innovative, and we want to just bring that story out from our show. And there we interviewed many of the fintech companies from China, no matter in the area of internet insurance, peer-to-peer lending, and crowdfunding, and mobile payment. So there are so many those companies who shared their story with us, and that show was highly rated by many English-speaking audience, and definitely also by the Chinese company. Unfortunately, many of the Chinese fintech company they don't have proper English-speaking leadership, who can really just using the English language to just talk about the core innovation, and also to make others understand their impact to the society. And we were trying to just find more examples, but it's also we also faced the challenge at that time to find the right English speaking leaders from the organization. So that's a pity that many of the great fintech companies that we were not able to interview because of that reason.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with us. So what would you advise fintech startups to begin with blockchain and evolve? In other words, can fintech startups afford to implement their solutions on blockchain from the beginning? If so, how is it beneficial over migration at a later point?
And when you just look at the blockchain application, financial service is definitely the number one vertical that any blockchain company should have to look at. And as of now, the most advanced blockchain adoption also are from the financial service industry, no matter it's from the blockchain-based payment, or it's through the interbank exchange, or invoice or supply chain finance, and all of them actually are are perfect example to combine blockchain technology with other technology. You can generate or create a new solution which can transform, if you don't want to disrupt, but at least you can transform the financial service industry. And for fintech, that blockchain-based financial service is a type of fintech. And for fintech company, it can be robotic technology, big data technology, AI technology, blockchain technology. Any fintech company can use any of those technology to create their own blockchain solution to offer that solution to the financial sector. It can be the capital market. It can be the small microfinance institution. It can also be individuals through peer-to-peer transaction. And from that, definitely, if you are a fintech company and blockchain is a technology you should not avoid. And we have seen the potential how the blockchain-based digital asset-backed lending technology is transforming the peer-to-peer lending practice. And before you have the P2P lending, and many times that you don't have a proper asset to just back the lending, and many default happens, and you becoming illegal because you basically help all the lenders. You don't have any control that if the lenders default or don't the borrowers default and don't pay back. But with digital asset-backed lending, that actually, with the minimal cost, you can have a digital asset out there, and if the borrower don't want to just pay back, you have the digital asset directly, through smart contract transfer to the lender's wallet. In this, that the cost is minimal, but it make the lending or P2P lending much more safe. And we can see many of the blockchain-based solution is really disrupting the existing fintech solutions. So if you are a fintech company, you have to look at blockchain technology.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for clearing that out for us. So one of the last questions that I have is about the regulations in the field of blockchain and the crypto space. So are all the regulations in the blockchain crypto space helping to set clear boundaries between good and bad? And do you think there is any gray area that hinders or restricts opportunities to make a positive impact? Because what's your view on this? Because this subject seems to gain a lot of attention after the Kick Messenger ICO story broke out. So what are your views on this?
And at any early stage of technology development or adoption, when you just look at any technology adoption curve, the famous the adoption curve, you always have early adopters who are more like a better risk taker, and who will start to adopt new technology, new instrument, new solution, and many times they bear the cost of failure. And the startup is the same thing. No matter you are a blockchain startup or you are any other startup, 99% of the startup will fail. So there are, the true blockchain-based startup who fail because of being a startup, being in a risky business, and they are trying their best, and also they have no ill intention, but they fail because this is the nature of startup ecosystem or the nature of the startup business. And there are also the true fraud, and who from beginning doesn't have a solution, just try to ride the hype to just steal money from people. And from to differentiate different type of failure is very important, and then to give the right name to the right type of occasion, and to use one lens to look at all activities, and say that all the failed ones are fraud. That's not true. And many failed projects, they are not fraud at all. They try to be successful, they can't. It's a startup. And of course that at this time that I truly believe that it's time that many of the startups should look at other public ledgers, and to just make themselves as like the app provider. In this, that you are helping to develop or help this technology to be more mature, and then everyone will benefit from it. And but many startups want to just enter into the public ledger space with minimal community, with very limited technology capacity, and then then they enter into a space without the public support, without technology capacity, create a startup thinking that they will be the next whatever, and finally they fail. And that is really a waste of resources, you know, with resources from investor and also resources from yourself. So that's why, as you know, the startup, as the investor, as even the public, we all need to learn and have a right attitude toward this space. And we are at the learning stage, and it takes time for everyone to be, you know, to set a right approach to the new this new innovation. And that's also the reason why we are launching a new certification program. And this certification program includes blockchain fundamental, security token offering, and the digital currency, and leadership in digital economy. So with, you know, different modules, we really hope that you know, no matter you're a startup or you're investor or you're public, and you're able to just get more information, be more informed of any decision you are going to make.
Thank you for sharing your valuable experience with us and your insights about this subject. I'm sure our audience would gain a lot of information from this. And this brings us down to our final question that we have for you, and it's basically about crypto exchange security. So, in your opinion, how do you think crypto exchange security be enhanced, considering the large number of hacking events that has happened in the past?
So, you know, for as of now, that the hacking happens to the exchange, digital exchange, it's similar to any exchange. Even, you know, when say that the stock exchange, any exchange, there are hacking events happen. And so the technology associated with those hacks, or the exchange should just, you know, develop better security. And you know, if you don't have that kind of capacity, don't launch an exchange. Because the funny thing is that one of the most advanced business models in blockchain is really exchange. This is more mature and everyone understand, and many really make good money out of it. So finally, you know, many like investors who think that if I launch or I invest in the exchange, I will make good money. That's not true. And to run an exchange, then you have to have the, you know, industry expertise, security, cyber security expertise, and also the exchange operational expertise, and also the proper investors, KYC, ML, and everything. So that's, you know, need a large operation. And many, you know, exchange don't understand that, and then they launch an exchange. They also just make any investor or traders exposed to risks, and which is definitely is not right. And I think government need to really you know, issue proper legislation, and to look into this issue and see that what type of infrastructure the exchange need to have, what path they need to pass, so that then their exchange can be, you know, publicly operated. And all of the existing exchanges in the past are not selling security. They are only selling digital assets, which not defined in a traditional security way, because they are ICO exchange, and then in nature they are not a security exchange. And so far that there are very few security exchange which are up and running, or token-based security exchange which are up and running. And so for them, that's you know, if yeah, anything happen, and then there's existing law and regulation associated with the security exchange or stock exchange will be applied. And so for that, it's a new game. and only like Open Finance and a few others, and who started some exchange, but the volume is really still small, and we have not seen any of the hack as of now to such kind of exchange yet. So we are watching this space carefully, and hopefully that any of the security exchange will understand better of the exposure and take proper measures. And of course, they are also under very stringent scrutiny of the government who provide them the license. And I think that this space is very different from the traditional digital exchange, which is operating ICO coins. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm sure every technological transition has had a lot of challenges in the past. We've seen that with the development of internet and how people slowly started to adapt to the technology, and we certainly believe that it's essentially the same thing happening with blockchain as well. Though a few challenges that might come upwards here and there, I'm pretty sure that it's soon going to be adapted and become more mainstream and understood by the public audience. And fortunately, we have companies like Fintech for Good who are doing their part in making the world more aware of blockchain technology and providing a platform for the development of valuable startups to solve global problems and challenges to ensure a better future. So we would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for sharing your valuable experience and insights about the challenges and about the development that's happening in the world of blockchain. We are very happy to have you here on WIMPLO News, and we hope to connect with you very soon to discuss more about the updates from the Blockchain World Championships and everything else that's being put forward by your company. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you.
All the very thoughtful questions, and I really enjoyed the conversation, and I'm very happy that we are able to share our ideas with the Indian audience, and hopefully that's we can just also meet many of them face to face in 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm sure our audience will be very happy to hear the valuable information that you've shared with us, and we look forward to speaking with you again very soon. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend and good luck. So that's all we have for today's news at WIMPLO. I hope you had an amazing experience getting to know more about blockchain and its development happening from the side of Fintech for Good. I hope you have a great day. Stay tuned for more information and all the updates about cryptocurrency and blockchain. Thank you.